Hello everyone, my name is Reed and welcome to Storytime. Today we are going to be reading some malicious compliance stories, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Reply to every text? If you insist. I'm not one to reply to text if I feel they don't need one. For example, texts like, "I'll be ready in 5 minutes," don't need a reply in my opinion. My girlfriend at the time was the opposite. Every message needed a reply, and fast. One time, I remember I was laying under my desk fixing its wonky leg, fitted to the wall with only one leg. My bedroom door was open and my flatmate stopped for a quick chat and I get a text from my partner saying, "I love you." I replied something like ditto. She then texted me telling me to actually say it. Being distracted by fixing my desk leg and talking to my flatmate, I replied, "I love me too." I'm sure I've seen a screenshot from her side posted online somewhere, I just can't find it right now. She then called me very annoyed, demanding an explanation of the message. After a bit of back and forth, I told her she knows I love her, I know she loves me, we don't need to tell each other that so regularly, and while we're there, not every text needs a reply. She argues and we compromise. I still reply to every text quickly, but if it's an "I love you" text, "I love you too" doesn't have to be the response. I agreed, providing she did the same. I knew how to annoy her with it, so was going to do so until she stopped. This is where the malicious compliance comes in. That night, I received the first text since our agreement, which said she's going to bed and good night. I replied to her and got nothing back, so pushed for the reply. She replied to that message, so I replied to hers and pushed for my response. Repeat. She eventually sent one saying it's the middle of the night, 5 a.m. by this point, and to go to sleep. I replied with, "Okay, good night," but got no reply, so kept sending it to her until she got ticked off and phoned me, demanding to know why I'm bugging her so much. I told her I didn't want to have to reply to every message and didn't want to keep getting them or bugging her for them, but I'm only doing what she told me to do earlier. She told me to go back to responding to whatever messages I felt like, and she'll do the same. That was a dangerous line to toe, OP. And it looks like you made it through unscathed, so congratulations. Jerk vendor gets ticked for being paid a day late, takes us to court, wins, and gets ordered to pay us $200. This happened at work some time ago. Vendor is legal services company we are required to use with one or two of our clients. We'd prefer anybody else as they are pretty slow, expensive, and have been jerks to us for years. Apparently because we have the audacity to not use them exclusively. We missed paying one bill for this vendor on a case, likely got misplaced into the wrong stack. As soon as we noticed this the next day, we paid it, even hand-delivered the check to their office. It was a few days later, they call us, demanding that we need to also pay the court-mandated late payment fine. These vendors are to be paid for their service within X days of date it is rendered, or there is a fixed small fine paid to the vendor. At this point, we figured out that in our rush to pay them that morning, we accidentally also mailed them a second check, paying them twice. We tell them this and to just consider that the fine payment. They did not care for this and that they were going to take this to court to have a judge make us also pay them the late fee. We agree because this is going to be funny, and get a hearing date calendared. It ended up being a 5-minute hearing. The judge agrees that we need to pay the fine since it was indeed paid late, but because we had accidentally paid them twice already, he orders them to pay us back the difference of $200 and some change. Judge then spent the next 4 minutes berating them for being petty. So instead of getting paid double, they needed to be jerks and spend time and money for their lawyer to go to court for 5 minutes to then be ordered to pay us back most of an overpayment. We're gonna be jerks to them because they're not exclusive to us. And you know how we're gonna get them to be exclusive? We're gonna take them to court over something stupid. That'll really change their minds and then they'll be exclusive to us. I think the vendor has the wrong idea about this. Flat tire? Sorry, I cannot help you. This happened this morning and am super excited to write this story up now. Little backstory, I live in an apartment block after moving several times, trying to find houses with garages where I can work on my cars. First house I moved to after my parents' house didn't have a garage, so I was a little bummed, but it was cheap. Second house had a garage with concrete stairs, which shortened the garage, so my car wouldn't fit anyway, so I was disappointed again. Finally, moving to this apartment with a garage allocated to me that can fit my car, parts, tools, etc. It was awesome! Signed paperwork and agreed to Strata's terms, which do not mention anything about working on my cars, etc. I would regularly work on my cars, mates who would bring their cars, and would generally keep to myself, not interrupting anyone. Kids would run around screaming, playing games, etc., which was in the agreement, no kids playing in the common area, but thought nothing of it. 2 months into my rent, I get some mail stating to cease all work on my cars and common property and my garage, and under no circumstances can I commence any more work on them or any car. I was ticked, as I did not break any rules, yet kids still run around no problem. So ticked off now that I cannot do my own maintenance work on my car, etc., and one of my cars is dripping oil, so I'm not allowed to fix it unless it's away from my house, away from my tools, etc. Sorry for the long backstory, but here's the compliance. It's been a month since I've worked on my cars. It drives me nuts because I have plans for my garage's beauty to me, but cannot do work there. I got out to my other car, which parks outside, and noticed a nice realtor-wrapped car with a front tire which had gone flat. The realtor was the Strata manager's. This lady started walking towards me and asked, "Could you help me change this tire, please? I don't have a jack, but I do have a spare tire, and I tried looking around for someone to help me." I looked straight at her and said, "I would absolutely love to help you in a normal scenario, but the thing is, your car is parked in the common property, and I have been explicitly told by your company to cease all work on cars on common property and in my garage. So, sorry, no, I cannot." She looked puzzled at me and walked away again, possibly looking for someone else to help her. Got into my car and drove away to continue my day, feeling spiteful, but they deserve it for not mentioning it to me before moving in. Honestly, this story ended a little bit differently than I thought it was going to. I was really scared in the beginning that OP was going to ruin these kids' day and rat them out for playing in the common area, and that would have been really sad, so I'm glad you didn't do that, OP. In which I made a lady who didn't have time for my help wait longer. I work at a call center doing inbound customer service. I have to keep it vague, but a large portion of my job is helping people fill out applications online. The other day, this lady called in and needed help fixing her application. It had been sent back to her as one of the values in a particular field was just a bit too high. It's a super simple fix and takes like 2 minutes. However, this lady wants to air her grievances and interrupts me to do so every time I attempt to help her. What should have been a 4-minute long call drags out into 15 minutes because of this. Finally, since I apparently did something that displeased her, I don't know what, I think I spoke maybe 30 words the entire call, she asked to speak with a manager. Her reasoning is she doesn't have time for this and wants to speak with someone more experienced. Mind you, I've been in my position for about a year. With a turnover rate that's typical of most call centers, I'm actually one of the more experienced agents on my floor. Our company's policy is that if a customer asks to speak with a supervisor, we offer a 1-day callback first. This allows us time to research what is going on with the customer. If they refuse, we then transfer them to a manager. So I offer the callback and this lady actually takes it. This means that the super simple application fix that would only take 2 minutes, but she didn't have time for that, is now not going to be resolved until the next day. That was fine by me. I turned on my sickly sweet and over-the-top cheery customer service voice, scheduled the callback, and wished her a wonderful rest of the day. I have a friend that used to work in a call center, and I don't think he made it but a couple of months before he switched jobs, so I can see the turnover rate being pretty insane. Karen asked for a soda. Well, she got what she wanted. Not my story, but happened right next to me with a coworker. We work at a theater where, let's be fair, the prices for concessions are pretty dumb. I understand that the prices can be expensive when items stack up. What I get annoyed by is when customers treat the employees like garbage because they think we dictate the prices. Speaking of garbage, so to curb the cost of optional food for your movie, some big-brain customers decide to dig out other people's buckets/large drinks from the trash. Yeah, gross. People do this because large items like popcorn and soda get free refills after purchase. They'll sometimes go to the bathroom and wash it out. Others, they'll just say, "Freak it," and take the nasty stuff as is. So a Karen pulls this same stunt with a large drink an employee saw her take out. She walks all high and mighty over to the counter and demands, "Give me a Sprite with no ice, new lid and new straw." I never know if it's a refill that they actually bought or not, so I never call out a theft unless it's super obvious. My coworker, on the other hand, is a BAMF, a BAMF, and can sniff out these entitled idiots. So my coworker takes the drink and gives her soda water. Fills the cup with 99% of soda water and a splash of iced tea as an extra freak you. She smugly smiles at us and then walks away. I walk around the corner to see her take a sip and immediately throws the drink back into the hole from whence it came. Revenge is a drink best served bland and tasteless. I mean, I know some people can be cheap, but I just find it so hard to imagine that people really just dig buckets of popcorn and large drinks out of the trash can, because that is so gross and I don't understand people. Manager was not happy with my performance. Before I start, I need to make a few things clear. I work in a hardware/furniture store. The store's vision is to become the most beloved store in the surrounding area. We have 2 supervisors. One is a decent guy that wants the store to succeed, so we'll call him Jim. He is the main supervisor. The other is more of a sidekick and more of the problem to me. The supervisor's sidekick seems to do freak all in the store, treats me and others like idiots, and explains the simplest tasks for at least 15 minutes. I suspect he needs this time to fully figure out how the task should be done himself. We'll call him Dick. This store is a side job for me to help while I am getting my bachelor's in software engineering, but his full-time job. So, let's get to it. My primary task according to my job description is to stock the shelves. However, since our vision was updated, all stocking staff is tasked with focusing on customer satisfaction first and stocking after. I work one evening 1800 to 2100 and one day 900 to 1800 a week. The previous evening I worked, there was very little stocking work to do. I took a cart and started. It was a slow evening, but I got a few questions thrown my way. Had a few conversations with customers about what they were doing and generally helping them in the process, and made a sale that took an hour due to the customer not really knowing what they wanted. This meant I could do very little stocking work. Understandably, Dick wanted to know why I hadn't finished my cart. I explained to him that I had been busy and what I had been busy with, answering questions and handling customers. He didn't like that. He just wanted the stocking work to be completed. He accused me of not working hard enough. I was working my butt off, and not having my priorities straight. I feel like I was prioritizing according to our policy. As I felt that I was being unfairly accused, I didn't go, "Yes, sir," but went full defense in an irritated manner. This unproductive conversation lasted for about 20 minutes with him being very demeaning towards me. I may have been a bit of a smart butt in this conversation, but then again, isn't the essence of malicious compliance to be the biggest smarty you can be? I asked him why he doesn't help with the stocking if it's needed. Told him to watch the camera footage of what I was doing, things like that. Finally, he told me, "I'm here for the customers, you're here to stock." "All right, Mr. Dick, will do." Remember, Dick's his name, y'all. Not a bad word. The next shift, Jim was the supervisor for the first half of the day and Dick for the second half. I told every customer that asked a question the following: "Even though I am fully capable of helping you, my supervisor doesn't allow me to handle any questions as I'm hired to stock. I will call someone to help you." After Jim had to handle a customer in my stead, he came up to me and asked me why I told customers I wasn't allowed to help them. I told him that, according to Dick, I'm here to do the stocking and he is there to handle the customers. All this resulted in me, Dick, and Jim having a nice conversation in the lunch break, after which Jim left the store to Dick's capable hands, and both me and Dick having to concede that our demeanor hadn't been professional. We both apologized and shook hands. The day went decently. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is not the last time I will be posting about my adventures with Dick here. He tends to do this kind of crap a lot, and I tend to not put up with it. Well, good on you, OP. At least you're not putting up with Dick's crap. I'm proud of you. Well, that's all the stories we have for today. If you so happen to like what you heard, then subscribe, because we're doing this shindig daily. Other than that, see you next time. Bye.